Hi, everybody.
Hello. How are you, Adrienne?
I'm really good, thank you. And while I've got just at the beginning here, I just want to say happy birthday to my dear old dad. He's 93 today.
Oh, happy birthday, Pa. Hope you have a beautiful day. Oh,
Yeah, so well, they're having a big family get together tomorrow, and I have been there for the last X amount of years, 7 years or 10 years or something. So this is the first time I haven't been there for quite some time. So I'm really glad that I went back so often.
yeah, absolutely.
And I will be going back again one day when the borders open up. So yeah, so just not this time around. Yeah. So hi everybody, it's Adrienne Francis coming to you from my blue boardroom where you can come and write and scribble lots and lots of things on the board here. And Lucia Peters from Follow Your Style. And Lucia is running a half-day workshop, Steps to Style Success. So this is awesome. I've just got Lucia on today so we can have a chat about who she is, what she does, why she does it, and the fact that you should come along and join her half-day workshop.
Right. So who is Lucia?
Yeah, who are you, Lucia? Tell us all about you.
So Lucia began her I guess, her journey very early in the piece. She was a bit of a rebel. She didn't really like, where I grew up. It was a small town. It was a mining town. And the mine basically had everything for everybody. And unfortunately for me, I wasn't into computers or data processing and all of that. And all of the girls in my era, my grades, went to the mines, got a job in data, the typing pool, yada, yada. And I'm a great typist, by the way, but it was just not exciting enough for me to be sitting in like in a pool of other women. It didn't agree to me. So my first job was actually in a radio station where I really got the marketing bug, Adrienne. I worked there for only 6 months, but in that time I formed some really strong relationships with people, and I have a good friend who lives over in Israel that I started that job with 40 odd years ago. So it was my first step into marketing and the whole selling, I guess, if you like. So I left that job 6 months after, but went into footwear and sales, and I was doing that for many years until I met my hubby and got married, had a few children, and my second child had high support needs, and we found that I couldn't work for a little time. We had some major hurdles to get over with her. She had some illnesses and stuff, so it taught me resilience though, and I came back after a few years and went back into footwear. Got a job as a manager in a footwear store, the old Mathers. I don't know if you remember the old Mathers stores, but
Yes, yeah, I do.
Yeah. So the managers had a lot of, I guess, collaboration with buyers, etc., in design and the fashion imprint. So they were doing a lot of work with China at the time, and I developed this real strong passion for design, fashion, and the overall look, not just footwear, but the whole fashion look. So I worked that for probably about 20 years, then decided to have another baby after about 10 years, and it was like, my gosh, what's going on here with this woman? But I had another child, and I couldn't work. So when she was about 3, I went and restudied, got a certificate in retail, and did my work placement at Myer. So I started in footwear in Myer, and my skills from way back then brought me to the future kind of thing. So all of that knowledge was then put into shoes, footwear. But at Myer, I developed this holistic, like for a woman, like her clothing, her accessories. And then I went into menswear, I went into children's wear. So it was the whole fashion, story. And I decided to give that up after falling ill. I was diagnosed with an illness that was chronic, and I was working in cosmetics and fragrances at the time, and I just had to give it away because I couldn't breathe with all the gas from the perfume. So I gave that away, went into banking. Can you believe it? I sort of went all this fashion story and then went into banking thinking that, that might be a really great story for me. But banking only lasted about 10 years and I retired from that, went back into fashion, into markets, which is where you began your journey. And that's where I've stayed for probably about 5 or 6 years. But I had my body just tells me when things aren't quite right, and I don't know if it's the body or the universe, but I was pushing myself too much. I'd work every weekend, making great income, but I was beginning to push myself too much. And I had an accident where I fell over and fractured all my wrist and could no longer do all the heavy lifting of the clothing. So I had to give that away. And my head went, well, what am I going to do? How can I still help people, help women particularly? And that's when I thought, I Googled, I searched, and I thought, well, how can I put this fashion mindset, the whole everything that it encompasses together? And that's when I studied under Cindy Newstead, who's a stylist in Melbourne. And I studied at her professional styling academy and got certified, and then got advanced certification. And here I am today teaching women how to shop from their wardrobes and also clear the beliefs, that belief system around their bodies and how they see themselves. So yeah, that's how I got to here.
That's awesome. What a great story. That's like a whole legacy in itself, isn't it, really? And so what exactly do you do now?
Okay, so what I do now is I have a client, I help women. And the women are leaders, so they're leaders in their own right. So, they're running their own businesses, their startups, their whatever. And I take them through, firstly, their wardrobe. So we have a discovery call and we chat about, what their struggles are when it comes to dressing. And 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of the negative self-beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves, but also clients don't see the potential that's sitting there in front of them, because it's like anything, you see it on a daily basis, it doesn't inspire you because you haven't been shown the plan, you haven't been shown the process of selection. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I teach and I help them to see the potential in their wardrobe. It's funny, I had a client on Tuesday and she said to me, oh, I've got nothing. We're going to probably clean the wardrobe out and you'll probably find I've got nothing. And I went, oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's, when we get there, we'll see. And she has got so many different options now that she didn't realize that she had, a beautiful lace number. Remember in Thailand, Adi, we saw those beautiful lace kimonos. She had one of them sitting in a wardrobe. Like, I would give my eye teeth for one of those. She had it sitting in a wardrobe. Up the other end, forgotten about, because that's another thing. What you see every day is what you remember. So that's what I do. I educate about the clothes and the potential that you've got in your wardrobe, and then I give you a list of what maybe is missing, that can expand that wardrobe. It's the 70-30 principle. Remember, we did this way back 18 months ago, maybe, in your boutique. Yeah. And it's powerful. It's really powerful, and that's how I teach leaders, female leaders and male leaders.
That's what you do. And why do you do it? Because you're empowering people, you're showing them potential, you're actually saving them money, right?
Yeah. And my half-day workshop is around that. Stop spending money on clothes that are not working for you, because we have an intrinsic sixth sense when it comes to clothes. So we are drawn to what we love, you know, as far as color and style. We are intrinsically drawn, like we're like that 6-year-old that used to just grab grandma's little ball gowns and, you know, strut around with the stilettos on. And, you know, I say to a lot of women, when I look at their wardrobe, it's just a snapshot of them. I can see them, you know, so empowering them to love who they are, what they have authentically to offer others. So yeah.
So you mentioned your workshop. Tell us about that, which is coming up tomorrow, right?
It is. It's on tomorrow. It's a half-day workshop, so it runs for 4 hours. It's online, all online. It's the first time I've done a workshop online, but we have 6 topics. So we start at 9 a.m. and we get to know each other a little bit, and then we get right into it. So I'm just going to get my personal notes up, because I've got let me see, I've got some notes for myself, because, you know, remembering all of the steps is not easy. Okay, so you can still see me, can't you?
Yes, we can. Yeah,
beautiful. All right, so we have 6 steps to style success. So the first one is about loving your reflection. So this is one of the first things about style, is no matter what clothes you have on, if you feel aligned and balanced to who you are and who you are helping or who you are teaching or guiding, you will always come across authentic, uniquely you. And you'll dress that way too. So your reflection will reflect back. And you'll reflect, or you will, the people that love you will follow you, kind of thing. So acknowledging your reflection, the perfect and the not so perfect, is the first thing. Mm-hmm. But I take you deeper. I take you much deeper, so that you are actually talking to yourself. You know, when we have these little negative voices that say things to us, mine is Luigi. Luigi loves to have a little chat to me every now and then, you know, about, you know, you can't do that. How do you think you can do that? You know, you're not enough, you know, all those sorts of stories. So when you're aware of those stories, it actually allows you to acknowledge them, sit with them for a short time, and then move on. It doesn't actually play over and over and over, because you've actually you've created this awareness of what you're doing. And once you've created the awareness of what you're doing, you find that you pull yourself up a bit quicker, much quicker, and you stop doing it, and you look at your reflection and you reinforce the positive things about you, and teaching you how to journal and just talk to yourself in a better way is self-reflection. So the second thing is the balancing wheel of life. So the balancing wheel of life is a task that we do, and I think there's 8 separate categories, and it's personal growth. What's the others? I've got
health, family.
Yes, relationships, and there's 8 topics, and basically we fill this out on a scale from 1 to 10, just to see where you're at, or where you feel like your finances. They may be at a 5, you want them at a 10, but they're only at a 5, you know. So you fill it all out, and then we have a stack, and basically the 4 lower topics are the things that possibly you could work on, you know, going forward. So that's the Millie's just having a cough. That's the balancing of life. And then after we have a little break, we go into the love your wardrobe, go shopping in your closet. So for me, this is the most exciting part. I love discussing this because this is what makes me passionate. There's so much potential in wardrobes, so many key pieces that people are missing, that they're saving for that special event, whereas they could be wearing it and getting joy from how they were feeling at that event that they wore it. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, it's an emotional connection. And during times of COVID, what's happening with a lot of women and people that are self-employed is they don't get dressed for work. They're staying at home, they're running their businesses from home, but they're dressing like they are at home. Mm-hmm. And when they do their presentations, their lives, whatever they're doing in the public eye, they're dressed like in their house clothes. And the story or the message that it's conveying is that of, well, value, do you value yourself? All of those sorts of little subliminal messages are coming through. So that is another one that I've been working on with a few clients who just got jeans, t-shirts, and questioning why they need to dress, for work. And it's like, well, it's a mindset thing, because once you come through your door and you're ready for work, you change your mindset. You're ready to meet, what the day brings, kind of thing. So yeah.
I think your excitement about looking into people's wardrobes is the same excitement I get when I look into people's boutiques and the potential of what they can do to bring their boutique to life online and transform the face of retail and show it online, as a boutique. Yeah.
It's just like this snapshot, isn't it? You look at it and you go, oh, wow, I could do that and I could do that, and just and the color speaks to me, there was only one that I can think of that was quite a drab wardrobe, but once they got clothes from another area and put it into their wardrobe, it just sung. It was amazing. So the next topic is body shapes and how do I dress for this shape, and understanding what shape we are is probably the key to understanding what styles to buy. And I take you through that, it's very brief. It's just to give you a snapshot, because a lot of people want someone to tell them. They don't want the technical. So that's where I come in and I just say, well, you're such and such a shape. This is what you need to be looking out for. And I do that for my clients. We create a PDF, and that way, once they've finished, the 6 weeks with me or 6 hours with me, they get a PDF of, the breakdown of what works, what they can look out for, if they're going to throw something out, what to put back into their wardrobe. And the next thing is to stop spending money on new clothes and looking at what potential is in your closet, because there's a lot of potential in an existing closet. And the last one is your style, your brand. And Adrienne, you and I both know this from a marketing background and my my previous marketing background. That is key to being recognized is your color. And people see you in that color and they immediately recognize that you're there for work, or you're here, take this lady seriously, kind of thing, So I know when you dress in your aqua, yes, you're here for work. You're here to to tell us a story, or to share it and teach, whatever. But I know, and it's an easy thing to do, but a lot of people are missing it. They're not seeing the potential in dressing in a particular style or brand color to reflect their business. So that's another topic for the day tomorrow. Yeah. And then we finish at 1 o'clock. We're finished. So we've got a little bit of sort of tasky stuff, and then a little bit of me talking and asking questions around their wardrobes and their styles. So
yes, no, I love. Just recently, you told me one of your success stories where you had a client who had, I think she was just about finished working with you, and she said that, Lucia, I went and tried some clothes on, and I remember you saying, like, you know, the first thing you thought was like, no, but then what did she say? Like, she came out without buying anything, I think.
Yes,
What was her success story around?
her success with that was that it wasn't her, it was the clothes. And I went, yes, because it's not you. 9 times out of 10, the style just doesn't suit your body shape. It's not, it may look fabulous, you know, on someone else, but their shape may not be your shape. And that's the thing that you've got to understand with clothes, is that you see it on a model or a dummy and it looks fabulous, but they're like, you know, they're this size, and then you get home and you're this size, and it's like, well, why isn't it working? Well, that's why, because their shape and your shape are 2 different things. But you can look fabulous. You can look fabulous with the clothes that are reflecting your shape, you know, because you balance, the eye balances, and you dress to balance the body proportions. So yeah.
So I think what I got from, like, the feeling that she must have had before, before working with you, she'd been going like, oh, nothing fits me, I am just a terrible shape, I can't wear any clothes. But now she has that feeling of like, I know what body shape I am, and it doesn't matter, these clothes don't fit me or don't suit me, because it's the clothes' fault, it's not my fault, you know. So yeah, getting her out of that blame game, which is really good. Yeah,
really good. She actually came to me with you know, like feeling of anxiety and quite low in her esteem, you know, and I've just seen the progression over the 6 weeks. It was just beautiful, you know. And when she told me that story, I just went, wow, that's you know, that's my vision. That's my vision for everyone, is to just embrace the beautiful bodies they have, you know.
Well, that's a fantastic thing to be able to do for people. And yeah, great. So people can join up to the workshop tomorrow.
Yes, there's I'm going to put a registration link in the comments, or my VA will, and yeah, just come along. We'll send out a reminder tomorrow morning early, and just let you know that it's on, and bring a notepad and pen and some snacks, because we'll be sitting for probably about an hour and a half before we have our first break, and some snacks and a cup of tea and, you know, water, and yeah, we'll get started and have some fun. So yeah, it's
great. Yeah. Oh, well, that's awesome, and good on you for doing that, Lucia. That's beautiful, to help women embrace their body style, their body shape, and find their own style with the help of a professional stylist like yourself.
Thanks, Adie, for having me. I really enjoyed just sharing that story, and yeah, we've been collaborating for so long now, and yeah, it's just lovely to be able to continue that collaboration with the boutique, and now with your coaching and mentoring with retailers. It's just, you know, I think the thing that it has taught me is that no matter what business you're in, there's always plenty for everyone. You know, like there's clients just waiting for us to help them. You know, we just need to get it out there and share our message to all. So
yeah, so anyone who's listening to this, if you've got some time on your hands tomorrow morning, it's 9 o'clock Eastern Australian Standard Time. That's, if you're in New Zealand, that's 11 o'clock your time over there. And spend some hours with Lucia learning about body shape and style, and then maybe you want to work with her to go further into, like, uncover the layers, isn't it? Go deeper and deeper.
So learn a little bit more about styling and the business of styling, and maybe that's something that you might want to help others with. That's probably where my journey begins now, is teaching women how to become stylists and how they can share their message with others and help other women.
That's awesome. That's lovely. So if anyone wants to join in, we'll be popping the links in the chat on this call. And thanks very much for tuning in, and have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Adrienne.
See you. Bye.